Hello. So I have a different perspective to kind of offer to this. Has anyone ever read The Tipping Point? Malcolm Gladwell. I think that we look at this such a big, big scope. How do we make it smaller? And for those of you who have not read it, it's a book about how the smallest changes that we make within a community, with any kind of structure, society, whatever that may be, make a big difference. So I always hear, let's fix the bridges, let's fix the roads, like all of these great, big, huge factors. What about the smaller things that are within our community?
Like what?
So when I was, one of the examples, when I was walking around talking to people within my ward, a gentleman, it literally broke my heart. He says to me, I retired, I moved here, and now I can't afford my taxes and utilities because everything has come up. The price of everything has went up.
Sure.
So now as a retired person who believed in Bay City to move here is facing having to move because he literally can't afford to be here. Now, can that go back to not planning enough for retirement, not planning the expenses, inflation, all these different things? Absolutely. Sure. But those are the things that our communities are concerned with. Those
So what's the fix for that? You said like small impact. So what is the fix for that?
So small impact. How do we come together as a community to hear each other? To absolutely hear each other in what, and how can we help our neighbor? Yeah. I see so much separation. This whole social media thing is absolutely terrible. Has anybody ever watched Gilmore Girls?
Yeah.
Yeah. The town hall. Follow me here. You know what I'm talking about? The town hall, where they all come together and they all talk about the issues going on. Yes, we have the commission meeting. That's big. That's 9 wards. What if there was a smaller? Each ward, what concerns you within your ward?
It's called the CDCs.
Yes, and there are...
Which that should be promoted all the time for reasons that I don't understand. It's not. If you want engagement, the early interest engagement is the CDC.
Yeah.
I have the pleasure of having that man right there. And that man is a library of information. If you guys ever have a question, go bother that man. He knows the answer for it. And the great part is, politically, we do not align. But we're part of our CDC, we love each other, and we're neighbors, and we take care of each other. And that's the entrance to this community. And for reasons that I don't understand, they never promote. Nobody, I think that young lady there started the conversation with the CDC. Everything should start with the CDC. Everything.
And
I will say they're going to be changing names this summer. So
and that's
it
exactly,
won't be the CDC in July.
That's exactly what we need to hear. You know, I am out in the community literally every single day. I hear from various people, like, this is going on, that's going on. And it's like, well, who have you talked to? Nobody. Because people feel like they're not being heard.
Well, you know, and so let me just interject. Let me turn my chair a little bit so I'm not looking sideways at you. Let me interject a little bit, and this is just being totally transparent.
Yeah.
People say that, I've heard that for the last several months, that people are not being heard. There are seats empty in here. Mm-hmm. When we ask questions, we being collectively, not just me, what do you want? Where do you see? What
exactly.
do you need? People are not speaking up, yet
exactly.
they go online and speak anonymously, and you know, and so anonymously, and they go online and they speak. So, and that was going to be my last question, because I'm not going to prolong this to 8 o'clock if we don't need to, right? Mm-hmm. But my question is, what responsibility do residents have in making their city better? Because we're going to spend time, of course, talking to leadership, and I'm going to be honest, I am a little disappointed in leadership not showing up more here, and not just here, but just in general, right? We want to hear from leadership. We want to be able to connect with leadership, but also we have to hear from the residents. And so I don't want to do like a blame game, of course, and make it seem like it's all about leadership. It's about residents too. People have to speak up. If you want to be heard, you have to speak, right? And so that's the thing, is that people keep saying that, and then when you ask the questions, nobody has an answer. Right?
It absolutely, yes, You're absolutely 100% correct. I had the most interesting situation maybe I don't know, maybe it was in the end of April. I actually went to a public hearing for the CBG whatever, blah, 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 blah. It was a public hearing. There's like one person there. I sat there for a very long time. Now, if it was a commission meeting, people come in and they're like, I don't know what happened to this money, but yet they did not show up to this meeting and there's a public hearing. They have to take the responsibility themselves to have that initiative. I think we live in a society, I guess we could say, where we think everything's handed to us. It's not. We have to do that research. We have to get involved if we want to see anything change. There's nothing going to change by being anonymous on Facebook or going on this endless rant that doesn't change anything on Facebook.
I get why people are anonymous, right? I get why some people are, online are not nice. But thank you. I appreciate your input. What I do want to say is that, no, you can come up, Laura, if you have something more to say. What I do want to say is that, and I also understand why some people don't speak publicly, right? I get that. I get everybody is not, blessed with the gift of gab and just, can talk in front of people and love it. But some people do kind of keep to themselves or do not want to be publicly shamed, and it's a lot of different things. People own businesses or have a different type of position in the community, and they're afraid maybe, that if I say this, then people will think it represents my, the place I work for. I get all of that. So that is why, and in case people don't know, during June and July, we will be boots on the ground in Bay City. We are going to go into spaces. We are going to have coffee meetups and go into people's businesses and talk to small business owners and do a little bit more one-on-one personal connection time to be able to get more input. Because I do understand that platforms like this are not always the best, right, for everybody, and we get that. And so, but we wanted to be able to offer it and then go into the other parts of the more in-depth parts of it in June and July. So if you all have a small business or you are a resident that wants to share more and does not feel comfortable doing it here publicly, please get with one of us over there, those two. Raise your hand, Kate and Jazz. If you all want to give us your information to connect with you during June and July, please do that. That is what we're here to do, and that is what we want to do. Go ahead, Laura.
Regarding solutions, and I think this is great, and I was inspired actually about, you learning about the bridges. Like, I would love for you to do a presentation about what you learned about the bridges.
I'm working on it, and a graphic too.
I'm totally there, and I'm also thinking about what presentation could I do? Like, if the guy that's having struggle with his taxes, connecting him to United Way, I can talk like, do you qualify for one of the exemptions so you get a break on your taxes? I mean, we do a lot and we know a lot, and some of my friends that I met from the Citizens Public Safety Academy, like, that was a really cool city project. It was 10 weeks, 3 hours every Wednesday night. That's very well organized. I learned a ton. Trying to have that model where you're doing it for something else, like the city in general, we could do a similar thing. It's a dedicated to whatever cohort signs up, but just having public things, like everybody in this room kind of figuring out, like, oh, if we're gonna maybe have a calendar where we're doing public presentations, you sign up for a slot on the calendar, and then like we all help promote it and show up and we share our knowledge. But kind of like a potluck, you bring something to the table, and how can we all help each other in all of the ways? It's not just one thing.
I think another thing with that too is how we talk to each other. So I know that, again, I'm a Bangor resident, and Erin was kind enough to have Bangor represented on the panel. But
you do a lot of Bay City.
I do a lot in Bay City, I do. But I think there's also, there's a fear. Like, the candidates that you get running for office are, I think, some of the bravest people to go out there, because it is daunting. I've considered running for school board. I'm afraid my kid will get bullied at school. Like, that should not be a thought if I want to make the school system better. I'm a parent, my kid's there, let's go for it. Nope, still terrified. There was just a keynote speaker that I heard literally about the science of kindness. And the algorithms feed on negativity. They feed on those clicks. So if you are saying things about Bay City or you're falling into that cycle, and it's really easy, the dopamine is great. Like, you're firing away, you have a great point, and you hit that button, you're like, yeah. But that spreads. On the reverse, if you're saying, like, Bay City is amazing for this reason, focus on the good. When I first moved here, It was a friend from Lansing who told me to get involved in the community because he had been up here visiting and had had a great summer festival experience where my husband and I were like, there's nothing here. Oh my gosh, it's not like Lansing. Well, of course it's not. We're not, I'm also not 27 anymore. I can go out to like Max until 2 o'clock in the morning. So, but it was kind of put up or shut up. And that's basically what he told us. It's a cool little town. Go check it out. You're just sitting at home. How do you know what's going on? And then you start seeing the more positive things. And when that gets spread, then people start to take more pride in what's going on here. They want to help their neighbor. They want to get to know people. And it helps a lot. It helps other people speak up. There are people who are afraid of speaking up who may run nonprofits and stuff in the area because they don't want something to go bad and they could lose their job. Like there's a lot of hate and vitriol, and I think if we, even the people who are here, you have an intent. If you take that and turn it around and dedicate yourself to the next 15 to 30 days in posting something every other day or every day positive about Bay City, see how your feed changes. Because you're in a cycle of complaints. And, I think we have the ability to turn that around, but it's counterintuitive to what we're experiencing right now.
And I'll add, I'm sorry, just very quickly on Carrie's point here, I think that's really what stops so many people from getting more involved is the hate. And like, there's at least 2 people in this room who have posted really mean things about me online, and other people don't want to engage in that because it's terrible. It doesn't matter what you're doing, there's always a group of people who are going to post terrible things about you online, and it stops people who are more reserved from engaging, and it makes those of us who do even second it. I have kids at home, and am I worried because my address is public knowledge, about these people who hate me online? Absolutely. Is it a consideration every time? Absolutely. But it's so unhelpful, and it stops so many people who are on the brink of getting involved from doing it because they see what happens to those of us who do, and it's ugly and it's terrible.
My wife and I had that conversation before I decided to run at least 20 times.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to lose customers, and that's fine
That's
because
the
it is what it is at this point because that Bay City needs something. So, I hear that.
Something that I just wanted to add was I feel like just kind of like recentering on solutions. I feel like it sounds like we have we have some infrastructure in place for good solutions for communicating with folks. There are some things that the city's already doing. There's ways that it could be improved. I mean, we talked about the city commission meetings. They're online, they're on YouTube, they're on Facebook, they're a different page, but they're there. But are we doing short form content of them? Because that's what people see more online. That seems like maybe an area for improvement. We have the city commission meetings here. There's smaller meetings that maybe are not publicized as well, and kind of amplifying those and elevating those other opportunities while combining some of the other more niche ideas, going door to door, going to the community itself. I mean, I think about engaging people in this way in the same way I might think about inviting people to my birthday party. If I want grandma and grandpa to come, I might need to drive over and invite them. But if I want to invite my friends, I could text them. Oh, but maybe an older friend, I got to get on Facebook Messenger and message them that way. I think that there's not one great solution to this problem, but I think that it's, utilizing some of the things that we have, some of the tools we already have, enhancing them, and then exploring adding additional things to that toolbox and really just tapping into all the different resources because the reality is that people are diverse and people benefit from diverse communication, and that's kind of I think what it looks like to be on the city level communicating with its constituents. Everybody's different, so we got to talk to them differently.
I actually have kind of a creative solution. I do a lot of volunteering throughout the year. I was at the Day of Caring. I did No Child Sleeps on the Floor, Humane Society, Salvation Army. One thing I noticed, they don't realize how big the problem is. There is so many people that they have such struggles, they don't know how to access the information. So the idea I thought of is maybe a group of volunteers like me that have come out of the homeless shelter, built their lives up, make a group of volunteers and pair them up with people at the shelter, people who need a hand to hold. Some people need a hand to hold. They need to feel safe. They don't know unconditional love. When you don't know unconditional love, the entire world is dangerous to you. Another one I thought of, I am I have muscle spasms right now, I'm sorry. I also did an online panel with EBT. The devastation of the stories I heard. I have a small business. I'm going to have a resource folder at my booth where people can just connect together. Get the binders to the small businesses. Get the binders to the concerts in the park. Get the binders to Lullabies. Get them to the Masonic Temple. Make a universal binder, spread it everywhere. Get it online, get it wherever you can get it so it's all the exact same knowledge. I'm sure I'm not the only person in Bay County that's willing to volunteer to help all of you. I get it. There's not enough money. So if there's not enough money, then the people have to step up and step out. I have severe muscle spasms. I have a lot of things wrong with me. I had to stop working last March. My heart couldn't take watching. I can't do it. And if you guys just paid attention and just went out and you looked, the anger in Bay County is destroying Bay County. We weren't this. We were a loving town. We all knew each other. We weren't this. This isn't my town. This isn't the town I want. This isn't the town I chose. So I'm making active changes. I stopped complaining. I got to the volunteer opportunities. I got out, even though, no offense, nobody, I don't like people. I'm kind of agoraphobic. I like my business, but my daughter is my face for my business. But if there's no money, there's always people. If we don't have the money, we have the people. Bay County always has felt like somebody who's tried to be too big for their britches. I'm sorry to say it that way, but we've been kind of too big for our britches. We're all small people, and sometimes we feel kind of flooded because they're trying to put all this fancy stuff in here, and we're like, we can't afford that. I mean, great, but who's going to do it? I love your idea, but 9/10 of my neighborhood can't afford your idea. There's no connection. I'm happy to volunteer. I'm happy to listen to people where, have a group of people that hear all of the concerns and then bring them to you guys. You have a person, she has a person, she has a person. Come on. There has to be people.
I think there are. I think there are people that are willing to volunteer and help out, and I think it goes back to kind of what, remember your first name? Kimberly mentioned earlier about the small ripple effects. That's kind of what you were alluding to, right? And Bay City is a wonderful, I like to come to Bay City. I like to, you guys have great food here. I like to come here for that, and then also great people. I deal with a lot of people here in Bay City, and so Bay City is a wonderful place. And I think that over this course of the next couple months, it's not a matter of saying that Bay City is not good. Bay City is wonderful, and how do you improve something that's good, right? And you just keep working towards it. And I think bringing more communication, being more open and honest with each other is necessary, and also being able to be able to have a platform to be able to share your thoughts. I don't think there's anything negative about saying, I care about where I live and this is what I want to see come from it, or I've been here my whole life and it used to be like this and it's not anymore. And we also know that things change, right? Life changes, spaces change, they become more modernized. We can't get past that. That is life. Unless you go out into the mountains somewhere and live, that's probably where you can go. But spaces change. But how can we still make people feel included in there and also have the certain information? So we are going to close here. I think this is a good place to close. I really appreciate everyone that came out to listen and to also share. And I do thank the leaders that are in the room here today. I want to especially thank Bay Area Community Foundation for helping us do this. So I think that's super important. We have a lot of entities in Bay City that are open to partnering and hearing and being able to help with this conversation. And so I am going to see you guys back here in August. I believe is it August 25th? I don't have my date in front of me. But our next date will be in August. I think it's either the 25th, 27th, something around there. We're going to get the date for you. But I want to see you all back, and we're going to really talk about some things that we found in communicating with different businesses and people in the Bay City area, and also talking to residents. Because we're going to be outside. I mean, like, we're campaigning. I mean, I'm not running for anything though. But
That needs to be on a T-shirt when you go
it
to
is the
doors.
25th,
You
okay.
need to have, I'm not running for anything.
I'm not running
Just
for
answer.
anything. I am not running for anything, so they will come to the
Yes.
door and not let the ring answer. But no, seriously, this is super important. I mean, we love this. Organizations do this all the time. They'll bring in someone that's kind of like a facilitator, right, to help have strategic planning or talk about things. That's what we're serving as in this space, and so we appreciate everyone that took time to come out to tell people. But again, see one of us afterwards if you would like to have more of a one-on-one conversation. If you do not feel comfortable sharing something here, or if something comes to you, came to you later that you want to talk about. And then also, we look forward to seeing you all out. We might come to a couple of the park,
Oh, please.
Yeah. Do a little, R&R, and then also do some work. We can mix it all up. And also, we want to see you guys back here August 25th. So thank you all so much. We appreciate you all.
Thank you.
All right, quick and easy.